Hello and welcome to FDN News. I'm Jonathan Kane.
And I'm Kelsey Cruz.
Race-related controversies consistently make headlines across the country, and Huntington, Indiana isn't exempt. One incident recently happened on HU's campus, and I decided to dig deeper into what happened and how students have responded.
I was hanging from right about there, and it was the little string thing that I had. It was tied up between right here, hanging right there.
It was a single act up on right third by freshman Kevin Moser that led to a swift punishment from the Huntington University administration and a campus-wide conversation on racial discrimination. Administrators sent a mass email on Thursday, November 12th, declaring that a racially insensitive incident occurred on our campus and that Huntington University does not tolerate such behavior. This widespread response came after Moser hung a collectible Michael Jordan doll from the air conditioning vent of his dorm room.
I just hung it up there. I wanted to show it off. It was just laying on my desk. I'd rather be like, oh, this is kind of a collectible. It's a cool thing to have. I'd want to show it off.
However, he also said that the thought of potential controversy had crossed his mind.
When I hung up the doll, 3.5 weeks ago, I thought to myself, okay, as I'm hanging this up, this could be controversial, but I just wanted to show off the doll. I didn't mean for it to be taken in that matter.
He is referring to the reaction of another freshman living on right third at the time, RJ Black. Black and his friend Kenesha Thompson came across the doll one evening as they were seeking Moser's help with an assignment.
I went to his room, he wasn't there, and I looked up and there was a doll hanging by its neck. And to me, it doesn't matter what skin color the doll was or anything like that. I was just like, wow, why does he have this doll?
Both Black and Thompson were confused about why Moser had hung the doll. So when Moser returned to his room, they asked him.
And RJ asked him Kevin, what is this? And he was like, oh, he's a doll. I just hung him. So I was like, why'd you hang him? And he was like, oh, I hung him because he was doing a piss poor job. I'm a farmer.
Moser confirms that he did indeed say these statements, but he tells FDN News it was meant as a joke.
I responded back with oh, well, I'm a farmer. He was working bad, and I decided to put him up there. As a joke. I said that as a joke.
Thompson and Black didn't find it funny.
His response sounds really racist to me. I'm not saying he's racist, but it sounds really racist. So I was just like, wow, I can't believe you just said that.
But the big issue that I have with is that he told me that he's a farmer and he was doing a piss poor job in the field, so he hung him. If anyone knows about the world and what happened in the past, saying that, you would think that he's a slave master, and this guy right there is a slave.
After the conversation between the three students, both Black and Thompson returned to Black's room. Moser tells us he had no idea Black had been offended.
What I didn't know was that RJ actually, seeing that up there, that actually, really got to him. And, after him and Kenesha, talked to me or asked me about it, I saw him, and, he didn't seem, distraught about it.
But he was. Both Black and Thompson, along with a group of friends, began bringing the issue before university leaders, eventually reaching the office of Jesse Brown.
On Monday morning, we have a weekly RD meeting. It goes from 9 to 11. When I came back to campus, there were 3 students that were friends involved, and they came into my office.
However, this was not the only meeting held, nor was the hanging of the doll the only issue brought up. Brown told FDN that he received several complaints of racial discrimination after the doll incident occurred. One of these incidents Black referred to in his meeting with Brown was Moser's use of the N-word.
One night on the floor, I was studying and he was walking past, and he said the N-word or whatever, and I found that really offensive. I didn't tell anyone really about it because he didn't say it to me. He just said it on the floor, so I just left. It influenced my decision of going forward with telling the administration here what happened Friday.
I was walking by Luke Bates and Fanny Fiechter's room, and they were listening to rap, and I went by and said what are you guys listening to music? Half joking, half just, that's how I titled it, and that's how I recognized the music as. I guess RJ overheard me that day.
Because of this incident, as well as hanging the doll, the university issued this letter to Moser detailing his punishment. Moser received 20 hours of community service, disciplinary probation from November 11th to January 31st, 4 mentoring sessions with a faculty member, and Moser is prohibited from competing in his first 2 track meets. Thompson and Black think the punishment is just.
If I were to do something like this, I would want a second chance, and I feel like they're giving Kevin a second chance.
I actually do feel like it's a just punishment because I like to think of it as like if I was in his situation, would I be okay with that?
Even Moser understands and accepts his consequences.
Honestly, like, whatever was given to me, I'd accept it. I mean, what I did was careless.
The question now on everyone's mind is, where do we go from here? Jesse Brown thinks the answer is reconciliation.
In a sense, what we ought to be doing here at Huntington University is having choir practice. So when we do things that are out of harmony, we do our best to reconcile those things and get them within harmony.
Thankfully, this reconciliation has already begun.
He's apologized. Me and him have talked with Jake in the room, and I got my frustrations out, and he got his out, and he apologized, and I accepted it, and then we prayed, and then that was it. So there's no hard feelings towards him or anyone on the floor at all.
I honestly did not mean to mess with RJ or anything like that, and more people I'm sure were affected by it as soon as they heard about it, and I just wanted to apologize to everybody else who was affected by it.
Almost as if by fate, HU finds itself in the midst of International Emphasis Week as it begins to heal from this incident. Brown encourages all students to take this event as a learning opportunity.
There will be a chapel dedicated to the topic of racial discrimination coming up later this semester.
This year's think tank event is going to look slightly different on HU's campus. This is an event that student government has put together where students submit their ideas for a new element on campus. The winner is then given a certain amount of money in order to make their idea a reality. In previous years, this has resulted in a 24-hour study room and an ice rink. The usual think tank event was supposed to happen tonight, but it's now canceled. Instead, an online survey will be sent out tomorrow where students will be able to submit their ideas. Student Senate hopes that they will receive better results and get a better feel for what
Huntington University's men's basketball team received another Hall of Fame tournament title this last weekend. After starting their season at 1-2, the Foresters never gave up. The Foresters cruised to an 82-38 win over Moody Bible Institute that advanced them into the championship game. Saturday night, the team then successfully defended their Ness Brothers Hall of Fame title with a 97-82 win over Bryan College. It marks HU's 3rd consecutive Hall of Fame title.
It's been a good start to the season. We're 1-2 right now, but we've played the number 26 ranked team in the nation, the number 1 ranked team in the nation, and the number 5 ranked team in the nation. So, having played really good competition is only going to make you better. And we felt like we could have beat Olivet Nazarene here. We lost by 1 here the other night. It was a great crowd, great game. We just ended up 1 possession shy of winning the game. The Cornerstone game, we felt like we played really well in the first half, led at halftime, just didn't come out with the second half kind of intensity we needed or the sharpness we needed. And then I thought we played really well and beat St. Xavier. So far, so good.
HU basketball hopes to carry their recent success into upcoming conference play.
Sexuality met philosophy yesterday evening as spiritual friendship founding editor Ron Belgau discussed the importance of sexuality in Christianity. Belgau spoke to Huntington University students and faculty last night about the necessity of discussing sexuality in Christian cultures in an unashamed way. He worries that Christian couples are losing the meaning of intimacy and that secular culture is distorting Christians' desire to engage in this conversation. Most of all, Belgau emphasized the importance of Christian couples addressing the topic.
Sexuality doesn't just go away. For those who marry, they still have to deal with sexuality before they get married, and after they get married, they have to learn how to love each other and how to keep that love exclusive and to really try to understand the whole scope of the Christian teaching.
This was the final Forrester lecture of the semester.
Starbucks coffee cups have caused quite the controversy lately. The seasonal Christmas cups used to have festive decorations on them like snowflakes and reindeer. But this year, Starbucks switched to a solid red cup with its green logo. Starbucks said that this year they wanted to usher in the holidays with a purity of design that welcomes all of our stories. Many people are unhappy with the change because they believe that Starbucks is being overly politically correct and trying to destroy Christmas. We talked to HU students to find out what their opinions on the issue are in this episode's Man on the Street.
All right, so you have in your hand two beautiful, beautiful Starbucks cups. Neither one like that much more prettier than the other. I think all cups were made the same in God's eyes. So what's your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, they hold the same amount, and you're going to throw them away anyway. So what does it matter?
Is this the big deal?
If you want me to venti here for a moment, I think it's gotten blown out of proportion. You know, quite honestly, if you want my honest opinion, I'm a little upset they took Christian symbols like snow, like snowmen and snowflakes off their coffee cups.
I don't really think anyone I know cares at all.
So they went to Starbucks to trick them to say Merry Christmas, and that would prove... What were they thinking that was going to prove? Just, okay. All right.
So what is your opinion on the Starbucks cup issue?
Well, to be honest, Amy J, I honestly have no idea anything about it. I see it on social media, but I'm too lazy to read about it, so I just kind of scroll past it.
Well, that's all we have for you in this installment of FDN News.
Don't forget to check us out online at forresterdigital.net and follow us on Twitter at FDN_news.
As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.